Hi friends, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In the previous video, we had discussed about the custom directive and how to create a simple custom directive. We have seen it. So now we need to try to discuss about the lifecycle hooks that are present in the directives. Just like the component, how it is having the hooks in the same scenario, directive also has these hooks. So let's try to see one by one. So first one, what we are trying to see is the created hook. So the created hook, when it will be created is, it will be called, so this one will be called before bound elements attributes or event listeners are applied. So before element attributes apply and event listeners applied before, so this one will be fine. And the next one is the before mounted. So this one will be called right before the element is inserted into the DOM. So when it is inserting into the DOM, so then this way before mount will be called. So mounted means, so same thing. So when this one is inserted and all its children are mounted, then this mounted will be called. Before update is called when the parent component is updated. And the updated will be called after the parent component has been updated. Before unmount called before the parent component is unmounted, before it is unmounted, and unmounted will be called when the parent component is unmounted. So the same thing. So how the component will be having the same scenario, these directive hooks also will be there. But here in the directive hooks, we need to discuss one important thing is these arguments. The arguments which we are trying to see, the directive hooks, all the things will be having, all the directive hooks will pass these arguments. Okay. The first one is the EL. EL is that nothing but the element the directive is bound on. If you try to see in the single post, the directive, the element which is bound, the directive is bound is the input element. So here the EL is nothing but an input element. This can be used to directly manipulate the DOM. So when you want to directly manipulate the DOM, this EL element will argument will be useful. The next one which I want to discuss is the binding. So binding is also one of the important thing. So this binding is a normally it's an object and it contains the properties. Normally binding. So here binding, what I can say is, I will show you this binding. So binding is just an object. It's an object and it has the following properties. So what are the properties it will be having? First one is the value. So let's console the binding. Then you can able to understand. Console.log of binding. So why I'm trying to console the binding. If you see the output here, we will be able to see an object in which it has some of the following the properties. So out of this one, so the important properties which we will try to discuss is the first one is the value. So the value means nothing but the value passed to the directive. For example, let's say that the value which we will be trying to pass is, so here we are having single post, right? Here I want to pass some argument, some value. So constant value is equal to Leela WebDev. So this is the variable which I want to pass it. So if you want to pass this one, here I can pass it. Sorry. So I will pass this value. Now the value will be here in this one Leela WebDev. If you see the output here, I will refresh it. Now the value will be Leela WebDev. Here see the value will be Leela WebDev. And the next one is the world value. So here the world value. So this is available only in the before update and updated. So when we are trying to update, when we are trying to change the value, then you can get this world value and also value. So when you are trying to change from Leela WebDev to some other channel name means, then your world value will be Leela WebDev and the value will be the new updated value. So this world value will be available only in the before update and updated. Okay. So next one is the argument, ARG. So here we will be able to see the argument. The argument passed to the directive, if any. For example, let's say that the arguments will be in such a way that, for example, let's say here I am trying to pass an argument. Here, let's say I am passing the foo. So this is the argument I am trying to pass. Then the argument will be foo. If you see the output here, let me refresh this page. Now, if you see the argument here, see the argument is foo. So like this you will be having. Okay, the next one is the modifiers. If you try to see here, the next property value is the modifiers. The modifiers is nothing but an object containing modifiers. For example, let's say that the modifier, we have already discussed about this modifier in the VIFN model, binding a VIFN model to a component. So for a modifiers means, so here let's say that foo bar. So I am having dot foo dot bar. So now if you see the output here, the modifiers will be is an object which contains foo true and bar true. See here, see foo is true and bar is true. We are able to see it. So this is the modifiers. And the instance. So instance is nothing but the current instance of the component where the directive is used. And the dir is the directive definition object. Okay, this is the directive definition object which we have used the mounted thing. So these are all the binding attributes. So which we have discussed it. So one by one I have shown you. The argument means which will be having the colon thing. So the dot modifiers will be using old value and the value. Instance means the current instance of the component which the directive has been mounted or used, and the dir means the directive definition. The next argument which you will be trying to see is the v node. So this is the virtual node, the underlying virtual node representing the bound element, and previous virtual node. So this one is available only in the before update and also the updated thing which I want to tell you. So this one will be available only the before update and updated. So now, so these are the different things which I want to tell you, the directive hooks and also the binding argument. So similar to the built-in directives, custom arguments can also be dynamic. So if you want to make the dynamic, you can also make the dynamic thing. So now apart from the element, you should treat these arguments everything as a read only, and you should never modify them. If you need to share information across the hooks means it is recommended to do so through elements dataset. So that's it. So this is all about the components thing which I want to tell you about the custom directives. So this is all about this one. So which I want to tell you. If you apply the what I can say, the last one which before closing out this custom directive. So the last one which I want to tell you is we can also apply the custom directive to a component. For example, let's say that here we are having the post.view, right? Post.view. You are having the post.view. If I apply the same VF and focus to this one component, so what will happen is it will try to apply to the root element. This directive will be applied to the root element. If you are having multiple root elements, single post has a multiple root elements. If you are having multiple root elements means then the custom directive will not apply and it will throw you a warning. Here you will get a warning. So in order to have this one, what you can do is, so whenever you are having here only the input type is equal to text, only this one you are having means then it will be applied. So here, so input type is equal to text. So whenever you are applying like this, so only one root element is there means then you can see here. If I refresh this page, see for this one you will be able to see root element. Okay, so this is one thing which so same like the fall through attributes. So there will be no VIF and bind all attributes like this. There will be no there will be nothing will be there. It will just throw you a warning and the custom directive will be ignored when you are having multiple root nodes. So most probably this is all about the creating of the custom directives. Hope you understood about this custom directives concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.